Excuse me, what do you want to do tonight?
Same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
Welcome to the My Life Counts podcast show, where we talk about anything dealing with mental health. My name is Jared Jones. I'm your mental health coach.
And here we go.
All right, so today I want to talk about support systems. And support systems are extremely important, and it's something that I don't think we really think about until we need them. We go through life with this idea that you have to be able to do things on your own. Especially, let me talk about me. Especially as a man, right? Oftentimes we feel like we have to do things all by ourselves. And I think that comes from the idea of this self-made image. We have this idea in America where it's like, I'm a self-made man. And we look up to that. And that idea is totally flawed. Because here's the reality. There is no self-made man. There's no self-made anybody, right? And I know there's a lot of people who claim to be self-made, but you're not self-made. And to prove it is, let's go to the very beginning. How did you get here, right? And so if you just think about that, then you already know it took two people to get you here, okay? During that time, somebody had to take care of you. Somebody had to feed you. Somebody had to, So even from that standpoint, from the very beginning, somebody got you here. Now, even if you go into the aspect where people say, okay, well, yeah. I mean, I get all that, but where I am currently, I got here by myself. Well, that's not true either. And to prove that point, let's take an artist, right? I hear a lot of artists say I'm self-made. Okay, that sounds good. But how did you get what you got? How did you get to where you're going? Oh, well, I wrote my own songs. Okay, that's great. Did you create your own platforms? Did you buy your own music? Did you perform at your own stadium by yourself? Are you the only one that came to your shows? Right? And so when we really think about it, nobody's self-made. I don't care who the person is. I don't care what they claim. They're not self-made. They had to partner with somebody else. And that's the part that we're missing, because we're so focused on being self-made that we forget about the community. We've lost this, especially in the African-American community, we've lost this idea of the village. But we used to have it. We used to have this idea that it took a village. And this is the reality, that it still takes a village. Now the village is a little broken up, and you can get to the place to where you're kind of isolated, and you feel like you've made it, and so you can move out and do whatever you want to do. But the reality is that you still need a village. Just think about milk. Now, something as simple as milk. We all, at some point or another have had milk. Right. But if you think about milk, how do you get it? Well, there's a whole system in place to get the milk to your grocery store. Right. There's a whole system in place to get it bottled, to get it pasteurized. Like, there's a whole system in place. And throughout that system, there are people in those spots to help make the system go. And then you get to the grocery store and you say, I bought this milk all by myself. Yeah, but you didn't create the milk, right? There is a system there. Now, why am I talking about milk, self-made, millionaires, billionaires? Because that goes into our idea of being self-made. And see, when we get to the place where we think that we're self-made, we only have a reliance on ourselves. Now, it's not that we don't need to be doing some work, because we do. We need to do and take responsibility. But that's not what this is about. This is about creating a network, a support system to support you in your times of need, in your times of grief, in your times of loss, in your time of depression and sadness, your need for accountability. Like, you have to set up systems in place to help support you. Now, I know a lot of people who try to do this all by themselves, and they have great coping skills. They're going to go to the gym. They're going to go for a run. They have all these things in place, which is great. I'm not taking nothing away from that. But there are times when you're also going to need somebody. You're also going to need, because we are communal people. We are social people. Okay? That's the way we're created. And so you're not going to get out of this life by yourself. You're not going to get out of this life going through life by yourself. They're always connected with people. You know, one of the worst ways, one of the worst things you could do to somebody is put them in like solitary confinement where they have no connection with people. Well, unfortunately, we're doing that to ourselves sometimes. We're going through our troubles. We're going through our struggles by ourselves in solitary confinement in our rooms, under the covers. We won't call nobody. We won't talk to nobody. We won't seek out professional help, but we won't even seek out friends or family or whatever. Like, we won't seek out any help because we kind of feel like we need to go through this all by ourselves. And so I wanted to take this time just to talk about, like, we need to create a support system. What does it look like? Well, so I give you an example. I have a support system where I have a couple of guys who we call it an accountability call. So every Wednesday, 5:00, we're on the phone talking to each other, holding ourselves accountable for certain things. Now, simple thing, but how can I hold myself accountable? See, here's the thing, right? Like, one thing that I like to do is I want to go to the gym and I want to work out more. Now, I like going to the gym. I can hold myself accountable to the gym. Like I told them, like, going to the gym is an easy A for me. But there are times when I don't feel like going. Things happen, right? And so when those times happen, what ends up happening is I sit back and I say, you know what, nah, I'm tired, man. I got work to do, man. I got this, I got that, so I'm not going to go. And the reason why I'm not going to go is because I'm not accountable to anybody. Like, there's nobody in that support system. But now I do have a support system. And so now when I do, it's like, oh, shoot, man, I don't really feel like going, but they're going to get on me if I don't go, man. Like, I mean, I could lie. You could. You could always lie. But it's like, actually, we can't lie because we got to take pictures when we go. We got to take pictures when we go. So it's like, oh, man, shoot, I gotta go, because I respect these people enough to make sure that I trust you. So I'm allowing you to hold me accountable. All right. And you're in my support system. Now, that's one support system. But like I said, it's a support system. You need to have many support systems. You need to have people who are on you about your finances. You need to have people who are on you about your relationships. You need to have people who are on you about your health. You need to have people. You need to have a support system in all of the areas in your life that are important to you. And I think mental health, it should be important to you because that's everything. So you should have somebody in your life. If you're not seeing like a professional counselor or therapist, or you have a friend who can play that role, like, you need to have some kind of support system to where when you're going through something, that person can listen, that person can guide you, help you through. That's why I'm a mental health coach, because I love helping people through those times, through those situations. And it's invaluable to have somebody in that support system when you don't have nobody to go to, because you realize you bought into, I'm self-made, I could do this all by myself. You bought into it, but then reality hits, and now all of a sudden you need somebody. Well, you got a mental health coach who can help guide you, who can walk you through it. Or you got counselors, a therapist who can listen to you and guide you in the right direction. But you got to have a support system. And I encourage people, and listen, I'm not perfect in this. So I'm working on it myself. All of the areas that are important to your life, you need to have a system in place. And that system involves people. The system involves people. Because even if I have a system around me going to the gym, I can lie to myself, or I can give myself an excuse. So here's some keys to the system. Number one, it has to be some people that you respect in that area. All right. So don't have nobody who, for example, if you're talking about health, don't have nobody in your health network who doesn't care anything about health, who's not good with health themselves. Have somebody who's like on it, who's like, okay, you ate what today? Don't have somebody who say, oh, you had the pizza, did you have the stuffed crust joint? yeah. Oh, I like that joint. Yeah. Don't have that person there. That person is fine, but not for your support system. Not if you're trying to, for example, lose weight. Right? You want to have somebody who you respect. You also want to have somebody who you can trust. Now, I know respect and trust kind of go hand in hand, but they're not the same. There's a lot of people who I respect, but who I may not trust. And that comes down to their specialty. That comes down to that special area, that expertise. So, for example, if I know a trainer, he or she may be in my accountability group for going to the gym. But he may not be in my accountability group with my finances unless I know he's very well versed in his finances. If I got a financial planners that I know, he may be in my, or if I just know somebody who's very good with their money, they may be in my system. Because I trust them. I trust not only them as a person, but I trust also the advice that they may give. And then you got to give those people authority. So here's the thing. And this is one thing that honestly that, I haven't done well and I need to do better at. But you got to give these people authority. What does that mean? What does that look like? Well, you got to figure that out. Does that mean that you pay them something? People pay for a mental health coach. Right? People pay for that. Why? Because the mental health coach is going to hold them accountable. Well, what does that look like? Well, number one, if you don't do what you say you're going to do, you're going to lose your money. They have the authority to take your money. Right? So that's number one. Number two, they have the authority to cuss your butt out if they need to. In love, but they have that authority. Right? They have the authority to cut off the relationship. You know what? We're done. And you lost your money. So you got to give this person some authority. So so you have to think about, like, okay, if I say I'm going to go to the gym and I decide, you know, whatever, I ain't going to go to the gym and I don't even care about this accountability stuff no more. Okay, cool. Well, what's the ramifications? You don't have a group no more? Maybe you're okay with that. But if you really want to make a change, what you want to do is you want to find some way that it holds you accountable. Something that you're going to lose. And if you respect the person and you trust the person, hopefully you will not want to lose that relationship. That's why I start with respect, because respect is big. Because if you respect the person, then you're not going to want to let that person down. If you're willing to let that person down, then they're probably not the person that you need in that group. So you need to think, who do I respect? Who do I trust in this area? And what are the consequences? What am I willing to lay down? What are the consequences if I don't follow through? What authority do they have? Those are the 3 steps. Simple, right? But the reality is we got to be able to create support systems in every area that is important to you. If faith is important, you need a support system. Church is a great support system. That's why a lot of people go there. If finance is important to you, you need to have a support system. If fitness is important to you, you need to have a support. If family is important, you need to have a support. Like whatever is important to you, you need to have a support system around that to help to hold you accountable, so that you're not going through this thing all by yourself, trying to figure it out all by yourself. One of the things, I'm going to leave you with this, one of the things that we have done, especially in my culture, one of the things that we've done is we've made ourselves have to start over every generation. And one of the reasons why we're starting over every generation is because we're not taking the lessons that we've learned and passing it on. There's nothing to pass on, right? And so what I want to do, I want to be able to leave a legacy for my kids, and not just financial or whatever, but I want to be able to teach them how to survive and how to thrive in this thing called life. And it's not by being self-made. It's by creating a support system, a strong support system. And the stronger the support system, the easier, the better it is for you to be able to be strong and thrive. And so I hope that helps. Those 3 steps to creating a support system, because I know a lot of people ask, how do I go about, I don't have anybody, I don't do this. Think about those 3 questions. Who do I respect? Respect is general. Who do I trust in this area? And how am I going to allow them to hold me accountable? If you do that, you only need a few people in each area that can hold you accountable, who you trust and who you respect. And you can start to build a great support system in your area. So, listen, thanks for listening. Look, I'm Jared Jones. I am a mental health coach. So you can always check me out at mylc-mentalhealthcoach.com. You can email me if you need a mental health coach. Holla at me. I can definitely help you out. And we can get to living this thing called life, the way it's supposed to be lived. So thanks for listening, and I'll check you out next time, man. Peace.